right, hey guys, Sam back with you here. Wednesday, August 29th here, just doing a quick review here on NEO. So as I mentioned in the last video, we pulled our Twitter followers today, let them pick what was going to get analysis here. Now let me just do a quick recap here because we've looked at NEO in the last, I don't know, a couple of weeks here. So just as a review here, I have us coming down as an A, B, C into a W. We get the corrective X, then the simplest count is just play this as an A, B, C. So what's interesting, of course, you can't miss this, right? So from the X down to what I'm proposing is to the A wave here, pulling up, we've gone to the 50 to the tick. Now we've got, interestingly, we've gone to and through the algo target with very little reaction, almost no reaction there. You know, kind of interesting here. You would anticipate that an algo that was holding there as the buying kicked in to take profit, that we'd get more reaction. We're not seeing it here. So then you think, well, oh, maybe that means second target. Well, you gotta be careful about where you're projecting, because second target is down here below zero. So I've just wicked off, and it's very hard to get it right on zero, but we're very close to zero here. So not, we're at 20 bucks. There's not a whole lot of downside left for a cryptocurrency that was once at 200 USD, right? So we were up here, our old high was pushing 200. So that's one hell of a long fall. But this, we can't ignore that, right? So it has some significance here. This is the tell. The lack of the reaction down here, though, equally a tell. It implies to me weakness, perhaps more downside to go. So, well, let's dig into that, see if we can figure it out. So from that, with that acknowledged here that we have a reasonable candidate for this to play as an ABC, well, there's a whole lot of subdivision down here that leads you into the idea that we're just putting in a third wave down here. So let's see, I'm on the 3 hour here on Bitfinex. Let me go to the 1 hour, see if we can figure this out. So from that, let's see here, excuse me, from this B wave here, right? So coming down for our A, going up into an A, B, C, then we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So very clean, obvious one wave comes off of that B high where we tagged that 50%. So I can go 1, 2, but yet again, it looks like I've got to go all the way down here to get my third, because I've got to accommodate this retracement. So this is the steepest retracement I get, which implies to me, well, I've got a very long one wave here. So I've got to check this third given the length of that one. So again, the alternate price tool. So if I take length of the one projected from the two and pull it over, well, I'm just barely making it here. You see, so if this is my third, right, I've just barely made it longer than the length of the one wave. So I'm safe there with that as a projection for a third. Now, granted, we have the benefit of all this additional data. As you were coming down to it, you wouldn't necessarily know until you see this reaction here. So this ABC, and yeah, I had to go down to a 5 minute to get 5 out of that, but it's barely there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have this crazy wick here that gives us that 5, but it's not to the tick technical, but if this is our 2, so we want to check it. So if I take the length of my third from that pivot here, well, we're between the 50 and the 618. Well, so it plays, and then we have a contender here for a third. We have all the subdivision we'd look for. So from the 2, we get a very clean 1, 2, 3 A, B, C into my 4, and I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finish it yet again. So this good example of the fractal nature of Elliott Wave. It's waves within waves within waves. So 1, 2, nice clean impulsive structure into my 3, A, B, C to my 4. Yeah, that's a steep wick for a retracement for a 4, but it doesn't invalidate this count by any means. We don't challenge the 1. I've got good subdivision. A, B, C. There's my 4. Now coming down, I've got all this additional subdivision here. So I can go 1, 2, and then it looks to me like I go 1A, expanded B wave into my C. Now let me show you why I'm suggesting that. So if we look at the length of the 1 here, again, we've got a long one wave here. So if I take the length of that 1 and project it from the 2, right? Well, so I'm proposing the third is down here. Well, we're kind of in between, right? Here's the high probability zone, and we don't get it. We don't get there. Right? So we're certainly clear of any question mark as to whether or not this would qualify as a 3, and we have all of the subdivision on working our way down. But let's see, it would be like this. So as we break into that, shit, God, that annoys me. Okay, here we go. There's our 5 of that degree. So I've got 5 of 5 of 5 of 3. How about that for a mouthful? So here's the one way. So let me show you why I've got us in an expanded flat. And it looks like we do it twice. So if this is my 1, I've got to look at the length of my 1 relative to my 3. So I can get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into that 1. So if I take the length of that 1, get it right on there, project it from this 2. I'm using the highest pivot here, so whether it's here or here, I'm using the absolute highest pivot, so I don't, force it. So here you can see I just barely make 100% the length of the 1. Right? It looks to me like I go A, B, C yet again, so I get another expanded B wave. Not uncommon to see if you get it once that you'll see it yet again. So it looks to me like we go 3 here, A, expanded B into my C, so I get a little A, B, C for my 4, and then I can go yet again. Let me go down to the 30 so you can see it better. So it looks like I can go yet again from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then even yet again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and screams down for this final 5. So I've got a great subdivision here. It all implies that 1, 2, 3 here, A, B, C into the 4, and then we come down here for the 5 here, completes my 3rd. Right? So we get this completion shy of some of these fib swing targets here. So also here 1, 2, 3 just barely, I was looking here, but the subdivision doesn't work as well because I can get this clean 5 coming out of it. So I stick with this as my 3. I stick with the back-to-back expanded B waves. Come down for the 3. Now, question mark. Where are we here? If that's the 3, could this be the 4? Right? And we're starting here. Well, I don't think so, right? So we can't be now because we've already taken out this pivot. Looks to me more like, given the symmetry we'd be playing off of here. So let me reassemble. Right? So in green here, right? If this is 1, 2, so we look at the length of that 2 and the depth of that, and you've got an 8. Look, so you go A, B, and then you can see the clean 5-wave subdivision into the C here. So this would, I should label it here. So we've got A, B, C coming up here. Whoops. All right, so we go, here's my 1 wave, A, B, C into my 2. So if we look at the subdivision of the 2, the length of time of the 2 relative to the 4, this looks like a cleaner count. But what does that mean for us in terms of longer term targets? Well, we see we have former hotbox here. Let's see if that's back into play. So if I've got it right here, and that's always subject to being relabeled should the market prove so. If this is going to play as 1, 2, 3, 4, well, I've got to look for that relationship between the 2 and the 4. So down to the length of my 3rd. Well, we're right in between the 23 and the 38. Not uncommon for that to be a 4th. I've got nice symmetry here. I've got of my A. So it looks like I go WXY here into this B wave here because I've got a little ABC. There's a good example of an X wave where ideally it's 90% or more. In this case, it's a double top for my X. Then I go ABC yet again into my B, and then it looks to me like I've gone ABC again into my 4. Now, I should note I am not currently long NEO. So if anyone who is that was curious, saying please do NEO, I'm gonna assume that you're hopeful that we've got 1, 2, and then we're in the process of 3. Well, it's not impossible here because we've got the possibility here. So let me go even down to a 15-minute. Right, it's possible. All right, so if this were to play, so we've got a 5-wave structure here. So if whether this is the pivot and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we finish with a 5, or it could be 1, 2, 3, 4 into a 5. We double top here, and I've got this. I've incorrectly made this labeling here, and that what all we have here is a motive wave here into this double top. Possible, A, B, C into a 2. Well, how are we going to know? Well, we have to have a motive wave here, and this is going to be the tell. So let's note here what I'm doing here. So if that were to be, if we're hopeful that the low is in, right, because you're long NEO or you're looking to get long NEO, well, then you'd have to be making the assumption that this is your 4, and we're going to have a truncated 5th. Oh, pardon me. That this would have to be the 4, and that all of this was finished, and that the 5 was done. So per that subdivision that we just worked through, I think that currently is less likely. But that doesn't mean that it's not impossible. So the alternate here is that we've got this kind of thing going. 1, 2, this is the 3, 4 is going in, and we're going to go up for a 5. Well, that wouldn't eliminate the possibility that we'd still have a 4 going here. Right, so this is for bulls, this is a tough one to kind of build that case. So first tell would be, do we hold as an impulse? So we can look here and say, let's see, all right, so from the 2 to the 3, could that be, let me get it right on there. Could be, right? So this also could be that the 4 is in here and we're just going 1, 2 before we start going 3, 4, 5. So you're not going to know until you see how we resolve this. Do we resolve with a push up here, algo target? Possible. Unfortunately, it doesn't eliminate the possibility that I've just gone from B into a C. So what you really need to see is that this were 1, 2, and then this were 3. So let me put it in white here and show you the alternate. I'll go up to so this would be the hope that you had 1, 2, 3 going in, 4, 5. So if we go up, let's go up here. I'll go to intermediate here so you can't miss it. So that would be the bull's hope. All right, that the low is in. That I'm wrong about this being incomplete. That we've got a 5 wave, right? We've got a 5 wave into our A here. That this is 1 A, B, C, or W, X, Y, doesn't matter. Into a 2 here, and that we're just getting started here, and the 3 is underway. So we would need to see much more bullish price action. So the alternate being that this finishes here, and so we've got a 1, 2. Would we be long enough? Again, that's where you got to go back to measuring. So we'd have to take the length of the 1 projected from the proposed 2. Well, here's 100%. Interestingly, right where the algo target is. So that would qualify us. So we'd have a contender here for a 3, right? And then do we come for 5? Right? Do you get that? Well, if we do get that, well, then my count is wrong and low is in. Right, so for bulls or people that are currently long, I understand that what you might be looking for. I would not like to see this take one more roll down here to some of these targets down here at 11, 12, or some targets, the larger algo target down here at 725. Right, so if the count that I think has higher probability that this is still just an ABC and we've got one more push down, I'd love to be wrong, but until I see some more tells here that we've gone into an impulsive or at least a motive wave structure, it's hard to eliminate this, because even if we finish in 5 here, this 4 is still a candidate. So if I put this all back together here, let's see if we can, let me go back to a 60-minute here and see if we can put it back together. All right, so if this is 1, 2, and somehow we're going to dig our 3, 4, and 5 out of this, and we're going to put that low in here, we can still be going A, B, C. So if this is the 2, we wouldn't really, until we broke the 65 here, would I start to get more bullish, thinking that there's not yet one more turn down. So that's 31, 37, which is certainly possible. All right, so if we went up and did that, so if we had a little more oomph in that 3, and we did something like this, all right, well now, game on, right? Bull's in charge. So then if we saw that and we broke there, well then now you've just been sitting on the sidelines waiting and you're just looking for the 2, right? So you're looking for the 2 to go to the 3. That would be the trade. So because of the uncertainty here and the possibility that there's still one more push down, I'd be cautious in here. At least I would keep any size on the long side to a reduced amount of volume that you might be trading, trying to pick those lows. I don't think it's ripe for any dollar cost averaging. Well, if you like it here, if it goes lower, I'll just average down. There's no need to do that just yet. Let this thing reveal itself, right? It's often when you're unsure here and you have 2 very valid scenarios here, and the fact that this could finish in a 5 and still rip down, I'd be careful with this down here. Let the true, if you're going to get a true motive wave, you don't have to FOMO it. Let the 2 will come. If that's a true 1, there will be a 2, right? Because if we're going to get a new trend and the trend reverses, the low is in down here, plenty of time to add. If we're going back to 200, what are you adding here at 20 bucks, 22 bucks? No, don't get FOMO'd into it. Let the market establish. Get clarity that we've got a good solid motive wave here coming off of that low. Take the 2, right? Don't force it, trying to get every little pivot, every little turn. You don't have to get the exact turn. Let the 5 complete. Wait for the 2. All right, guys. I'm trying to get multiples in today since we had so many reply in that poll. So I'm going to let this wrap here. As always, you can learn more about what we're doing. There's links underneath the video. And just one thing I wasn't sure people had realized, we've just recently launched our affiliate program. So, you know, for existing members or for, I don't know, if you're into crypto and you're a subscriber, and you know, it's another way to, it's a pretty generous affiliate program, so something to think about. You can learn more about that over on our website or on the Twitter feed. All right, guys, got a couple more to do. Back to you in a bit.